Welcome to Season 4 of My Wife the Dietitian, a fun, evidence-based weekly podcast about nutrition and healthy living.
On today's show, we're going down the yellow brick road to eat the rainbow and find the promised land for health. What does color have to do with it? What are some integral and key benefits of plant foods? Stay tuned to hear all the details.
Enjoying the show? You can help others find it and enjoy it too by giving us a 5-star rating or review. If you feel like reaching out to us with a question or comment, you can send us an email at mywifetherd@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit our website at mywifethedietitian.com, as well as our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Enjoy the show. Welcome to My Wife the Dietitian. Hello, Sandra.
Hello, Rob.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
What are we talking about today?
Today, we're going to discuss how to sneak in more vegetables in wintertime.
That's like a mom thing to do, like sneaking in vegetables into their 5-year-old's meal. But this is like how to do it as an adult.
Yeah, how to just, that eating vegetables is good for you.
I've heard that, yeah.
And I hear a lot of clients say it's hard to eat vegetables in winter. Like it's easy in the summer.
Oh, did you say in the winter?
Yes.
Specifically in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, summer, there's more salads and maybe smoothies, and maybe you have a backyard garden or on your patio, and you can just, kind of eat from the garden.
Yeah, you're right. I never thought of that, but there's definitely more around in the summer. And I mean, we got our veggie box thing in the summer, plus stuff in our own garden, and we had tons of fruit everywhere. Yeah, there's way more in the summer. You're right. Okay, I'm with you.
Okay.
I came I just said to Sandra, I have zero idea what we're doing today because we've been both busy all day and haven't talked about what today's episode is going to be. So I said, I'll find out when you start recording. So I'm just brand new to this too.
I did mention it to you a couple of days ago, but just because...
Come on, a couple of days ago.
Well, because I've been hearing this with various clients saying it's really hard to get more vegetables in winter. Like, What are your tips?
What are your tips? You've got some. I'm hoping that you're going to help people out with that, right?
Well, I want you to help too.
Oh, I got to be part of this? All right. I'll do my best.
Yeah. A good thing to remember, and everybody's heard this, I'm sure, is eat the rainbow. Eat
the rainbow of colors, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because every color is phytonutrients, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Something like that.
For
and
you.
They all offer different nutrients.
Yeah, exactly. Every color has a different phytochemical, like phyto, the plant chemical, which is the color of the plant. And that gives us the flavonoids and the carotenoids, which are antioxidants. And they're really good for our cardiovascular health. And, they help with glycemic control, to help with blood sugars, and also preventing certain cancers. And also, we know now, too, really good for eye health. We did a whole episode on eyes way back. Nutrients for eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the lutein and the zeaxanthin?
I remember those.
Well, where do they come from in our food?
They come from colorful plants.
You got it. Yeah. So what colors? What rainbow colors? Especially every day, we need to have 2 certain colors that we talk about.
Green and purple? Green and red?
Green and orange.
Yeah, orange. Okay.
But we do want the rainbow. Actually, 5. You want at least 5, minimum 5.
Vegetables.
Different colors.
Oh, 5 different colors?
Yes.
A day?
Yeah.
Okay.
5 different colors of plant foods a day.
So that includes your fruits as well?
It does.
Okay.
But today we're just going to focus on the vegetables.
Okay.
Because there still is a problem with people eating enough fruits. We actually know there was a study that showed that women who had 5 fruits a day versus women who had 1 had lower rates of breast cancer.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. So fruits are really important too. It is one that a lot of kids are getting, a lot of fruit. because they are sweeter, right? Like they taste sweeter. They're easier to eat.
Yeah, there's something more fun about eating fruit. I think I guess it's the sweetness.
Yeah, but I think in recent years they've been demonized a bit. Like, oh, they're high in sugar. They're going to affect your diabetes risk, and they're too high for blood sugar control. But actually, fruit packaged in its whole form from Mother Nature is really amazing, and most of us don't eat enough fruit.
Mm-hmm.
But vegetables are even harder to get in, and we know the population. We know that we're low, that we're not getting enough every day. So that's why we're talking about this today.
Perfect.
So with the greens, so green was one of the colors that we really have to aim for, eh?
It is. It's the most common, I would say, that people are most familiar with. There's no like weird green ones. All the green vegetables are pretty, that I can think of, are pretty, is all your salad stuff, right? Pretty common.
Right.
Leafy stuff, cucumbers, avocados, green peppers, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And when we're talking about green, the darker green is going to have more phytochemicals, phytonutrients benefits. So more nutrition, although variety is the spice of life. So, but if you are only eating cucumbers as your green vegetable day after day after day, that's not giving you that much nutrition.
Mm-hmm. Because it's a cucumber, because it's not enough variety.
Because cucumbers are good for certain things, but they're not the nutritional powerhouse like spinach or kale.
Right.
Or broccoli.
And there are probably a lot of water in a cucumber, I'm thinking.
Which is great. And in summer, this is good for hydration. But I do talk to clients who that's their only vegetable is cucumber.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay. And sometimes they're pickled.
Right.
Yeah, I had some vegetables today.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
So what else are in the spinach and kale and bok choy and broccoli?
Yeah, there's all sorts of, I didn't realize that all the leafy stuff has different kind of nutrients. I always thought, it's, bok choy and spinach and lettuce and all the different lettuces are all kind of the same, but they're not.
Right. They have different levels of vitamin C and the fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A. And there's also lots of vitamin K in spinach. It's it helps your blood clot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And some of them are good to throw into hot food, like spinach. Spinach works cold, but you can also chop it up, or you don't even need to chop it up because it shrinks. You just throw it into whatever you're making. I use it all the time. Like it's sort of the last thing I'll add to any kind of sauce or soup, chili, any kind of like thing that I've made in the pan. And you just throw a handful or two of spinach in, which seems like a lot. Put the lid on, and like 3 minutes later, it's all gone. Well, not gone. It's all like shrunk down, and it blends right into the sauce. You don't really even realize that it's still there, but you've got the equivalent of 2 handfuls of spinach in your meal now. So that's easy.
Yeah. Yeah. So good for your eyes. Lutein. It has that lutein, and it's so beneficial. So it's worth it. Like put it in the smoothie. Put it, as Rob says, put it in at the end of cooking your sauce or your chili or your lasagna. Is spinach in lasagna is always good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's really good. And we also use arugula a lot.
Yeah, I guess it would work the same hot, but I typically eat it cold because I like the flavor of it. But I suppose you could throw that in too.
I add it to your soup all the time.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you put it on top as I'm eating it. That's kind of fun.
Yeah,
you're right. What am I thinking?
Yeah. It's the rocket lettuce or arugula. It's got that kind of mustardy, spicy.
It's a great flavor. I wish I'd discovered that like earlier in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe it's been 10 years since I've been eating that, and that's it. But I didn't, like I said, I thought they're all the same, all the lettuces, but it shows what I know.
Well, no, I don't know if it was as available. Like, I don't know if you could just get a container of
maybe
arugula.
That's it.
Yeah, I think that's part of it is like when, different vegetables show up in the grocery store, then you have access to them.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Actually, speaking of that, on any given day in a grocery store, there's about 225 different vegetables produce to select from.
Really?
Fruits and vegetables. Yeah, lots. So if people say, "Oh, it's
fresh,"
well, in the produce section.
Oh, and yeah, so fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, that's incredible. I never really thought about it.
There's lots. Yeah, there's lots of variety. And remember, we talked about the 30 different plant foods in a week. So variety and diversity is really key for your gut health and help with keeping your gut strong and your digestion working.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing with including the different colors, like the 5 different colors, then you're going to get different types of vegetables.
You know what we could do? This is just a little aside. Do you remember what was it, Sesame Street, when we were kids, and they'd have like the letter of the day, and so we could do that. We could have the letter of the week. We'll do this maybe in our newsletter. I'm just adding more work for myself.
Perfect. I love how things come up as we're talking. It's perfect.
Yeah. So we'll do the letter of the week, and we'll start with A, and it will be like, what vegetable starts with A, and what can you do with that vegetable?
Ooh, I like that.
So that'll be like 24 different ideas as we go through our 26. How many letters in the alphabet? 26. Some of the letters might be challenging. But anyway, just a thought, because as I stroll through the grocery store, there's a lot of vegetables I pass because A, I don't know what they are. B, I don't know what I would do with it. And really, that's just me. I mean, I could look it up. There's so much information at our fingertips these days. I could just buy it and bring it home and figure it out. But I just go to the same old stuff. And we need a way to encourage ourselves to try new things. And that's what happens in the summer when we get our food box, our CSA box, because it is, you get what you get with that. And there's sometimes just like, well, what is this thing, and what are we supposed to do with all this? And it forces you to figure it out, and it's great. And you discover some really neat stuff that maybe you wouldn't normally try. So we'll try to see if we can do that for our listeners.
I love it, because I'll use that too for the grocery tours I do with the elementary school kids, because, using the letters of the alphabet, that makes it really fun.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And who doesn't like to have fun when they cook?
Or shop.
Right? Exactly.
Well, that last episode about all the different sodium in the food and looking at labels that you experienced, that was eye-opening.
Yeah, it wasn't ever. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the cruciferous vegetables, the ones that have the sulfur, the sulforaphanes that are super beneficial to helping with reducing risk of cancers. A lot of those are green.
Are they?
Broccoli, arugula.
Oh, right. Arugula.
Brussels sprouts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So those fit in there too.
True.
Cabbage.
Oh, under the green column.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Team green.
Yeah. Team green. And A for avocado.
Mm-hmm. True.
That's light green. And it's good too. I mean, you want the leafy greens, and like that is almost a category on its own, but also another green would be fine too. So like an avocado is a different type of nutrition in that, but not to get super picky about the nutrition, because we want variety. We want to have different foods through the weeks. So it's really good. I liked your idea of like picking a new vegetable in the produce section or fruit, or letting your kids, if they come shopping, let them pick a certain color. You can say, okay, pick something red or pick something green, and then they can have their choice. And that will actually help with them trying it and eating it and probably liking it, because they had some autonomy and independence with choosing it in the store.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe we'll pick a new vegetable every week and write about it. Maybe that's what we'll do.
Sure.
But we want everyone else to try it. Maybe we should all try it, and we'll compare notes. So you guys can let us know what you tried and what you liked that was new, and then we'll let everyone else know. And then we can all spread the new food love.
Yeah. And it's really interesting. In urban centers, there might be a lot of more like ethnic type vegetables that you've never seen before.
Totally.
Or if you travel and you've eaten exotic meals and, you can't identify, or it's hard to identify the different vegetables. So those are all things to try, because I think it's really important to try to get your taste buds out of the monotony of the same vegetables all the time. I talk to people quite often who basically they're just rotating the same vegetables. They go grocery shopping, they buy the same vegetables, they cook the same meals. And I get it, because life is busy. It's crazy. It's hard to have any kind of time and energy to think outside the box of what meals you're going to have. But it is good to every once in a while buy something different, have a plan of what you're going to cook it with, and try it out, because it really is good. It's good for the family. It's good for everybody to expand their taste buds and to include more variety, because if kids are exposed to different vegetables and fruits, they're more likely to have way more variety in their future. And then that actually sets them up for good health too.
Yeah, totally.
Because a lot of people I see that are having health problems when they're older are people that had a food rut, or they were just eating the same vegetables, or they barely ate vegetables when they were young, or they were picky eaters when they were young.
Yeah, they weren't exposed to a lot of different things.
Yes.
So it makes it challenging to
it really
change
does.
and get out of that rut. Yeah. You know, you can't go wrong with just chopping stuff up and throwing it in a pan and, you know, putting some sauce on it. Like, that's how I make most of my meals. And it'll turn into pasta sauce. It'll turn into a curry. It'll turn into chili, you know, but it often is just like, okay, what's in the fridge? Let's cut up all this stuff and throw it in the frying pan, and we'll saute it, or whatever the fancy chefing word is, and heat everything up. And yeah, it doesn't have to be intimidating, like cooking with something new. You can just combine it with what you've already been doing, you know, however you make your pasta sauce. Throw a zucchini in it for a change, you know, throw some carrots in it for a change. Nothing bad is going to happen. It's all going to be good stuff that's going to happen, because your body will be like, hey, new vegetables, right on.
Totally.
This is different.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. And speaking of carrots, that's the orange, right? And they have the beta carotene.
The beta carotene.
Those are like the glow foods. It helps your skin glow. It's really good for your immune system and your skin health. And of course, your gut health, which is kind of ripple effect with the gut-brain connection. So your mood, and also with your digestion. What are some other orange vegetables?
We've got, there's different squashes that are orange. There's carrots, we said. There's yellow and orange peppers.
Yeah.
Which, you know what I like about peppers is each color tastes so different.
Yeah.
I love that.
I know.
And they get sweeter. I think the red ones or orange ones are really sweet, and the green ones are very bitter, but they're all really good. And so it's even within that family, there's so much variety, you know?
Yeah, and actually a really good yummy dish is stuffed peppers with you could either do cottage cheese, like egg and cottage cheese and vegetables into the stuffed pepper, or you could do veggie ground round, or turkey, like ground turkey or ground beef, and then stuff with cheese and with veggies into the pepper.
Yeah, rice is a good one. You make like a whole bowl full of like rice and whatever veggies you put in, and then jam it all in the pepper, put some cheese on top, bake it. Oh, it's just so tasty.
Oh my gosh.
Those are great leftovers too. If you make like 8 of them and you only eat like half of them for dinner, then you've got lunch the next day, and they're good cold. That's kind of what I was going for, is the cold lunch the next day. They're really tasty.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, sweet potatoes are good. The orange vegetable and pumpkin, obviously. They have those, the carotenoids, which are so helpful for our immune system.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also, we've talked about this before, but the red color are really good for the heart health and cardiovascular system.
Interesting.
So the red, you think of the red, well, we know easily with the red, there's lots of red fruit.
Yeah. But I think red pepper.
Yeah. That's a really rich in vitamin C, like 216 milligrams in one pepper.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good chunk.
Yeah, like more than an orange.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
If you eat the whole red pepper.
Mm-hmm. What other vegetables are red?
Something in tomato sauce?
Tomato?
Yeah. Sorry, I gave it away.
Just racking my brain going, what's red? What's red?
You know what is in the red? The element, or like the carotenoid in red, like what makes it red?
Lycopene?
You got it.
Look at me.
That's right. You're a man, and it's good that you know that because it's good for prostate health.
Ah, for that.
Well, there is a connection there.
Keep the tomatoes flowing.
Getting enough cooked tomatoes actually have more lycopene than a fresh tomato because it breaks down the cells and you have more access to the lycopene, and it's more concentrated in either pasta sauce or tomato sauce or diced tomatoes or like the canned tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe aim for the low sodium ones or homemade, like home canned tomatoes.
I didn't check those on my little sodium sewer. I'll have to check them next time because we do use a lot of canned tomatoes, and we liked the seasoned ones, so they're probably salty, but
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, red peppers, tomatoes, radishes, or cruciferous vegetables. So good for you. So that's the red, and they do have the red element actually, they've identified a probiotic, like an actually good bacteria in the gut that really loves the red color.
Really?
Yeah, and it's super helpful to keep our system strong.
That's cool.
So yeah, it's amazing how science continues to march along and discover new things with our food and nutrition.
Yeah, it really is interesting.
That's so cool. So yeah, there's lots of ways to use those red vegetables, and it's also high in vitamin C. So another way to help your immune system. Purple is another color.
Purple.
It's not really on the rainbow, but it's
on my rainbow.
Perfect. Okay.
Anytime I made a rainbow, I always had purple. I like purple. Purple and orange, and yeah, all those are great colors.
There's one that you can make a delicious coleslaw with purple cabbage and purple onions.
We use purple cabbage quite a bit.
Yeah, it's one of those fairly inexpensive vegetables that you can keep for a while.
Can
in
you
the
ever?
fridge.
Yeah, you can. It keeps. They're tricky to store because they're like a giant bowling ball in your fridge. But I suppose you could cut it in half and cut it down or whatever. But yeah, they're good, and you just grate it into whatever you're making, just like the spinach. You just cut it up, throw it in, and it just kind of blends in, and it adds a little bit of crunch and flavor and all sorts of nutrients. It's a good one. I like having that on hand.
Oh, so good for you too. So
and cold too. I mean, like the cold, like coleslaw kind of salad. It's tasty with the cabbage.
We just had that yesterday.
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I was thinking. I ate that last night and for lunch today. It was delicious.
Oh no, I know, it's so good. And then we had pumpkin seeds in that too, in the salad, and make a little bit of crunch. But yeah, the purple cabbage is great. It's got another cruciferous vegetable. So remember, that helps clear the estrogen out of your system. It helps take it to the liver. And that's really good for women in midlife through the menopause transition, and to help with reducing the risk of breast cancer. So cruciferous vegetables are pretty important to try to include one a day if you can. And we'll do another episode on that specifically.
Okay.
But eggplant also has purple, and they're really, they're great to, eggplant parmesan is a classic.
You know what I like about eggplant is it's like a little sponge. If you kind of cut it, you cube it, and it just soaks up whatever sauce you put it in. It's really cool that way. And then it's kind of works the same way tofu does. It just absorbs the flavor, and yeah, I like working with eggplant.
Yeah, so good. Like in a stir fry with some onions, and you put the garlic and the eggplant and tomatoes, and it's all like this delicious mixture and flavors. And then some Italian seasoning would be good.
Oh yeah, all sorts of goodies.
Yeah. And then another color, yellow or white.
I was going to say, what about like mushrooms and that kind of colors stuff?
Yeah, mushrooms are kind of on a class of its own, but
Yeah.
like the bulbs, like the onions and garlic,
Right.
the ginger.
Yeah. Ginger.
So good. We haven't used it yet.
I know.
You bought it a while ago.
I was thinking about that as you were talking, and I'm like, right, we got to get that going, because we had a dish that a friend made recently, and it was so good, and it was lots of ginger. He's a chef. We might actually interview him on the podcast one day, but he's a chef, and he just like whipped up this thing one afternoon as at this place we were staying for his lunch, and cut a bunch of vegetables, and it was like I think he called it a shrimp chow mein or something like that. But oh my God, it took him like 15 minutes. Just threw it all together in a pan, stirred it up, cooked the shrimp, threw in the ginger, put some sauce on it, and I'm like, dude, that smells incredible. He says, oh, here, you want to try some? I'm like, yeah. I sat and watched you make it. Like, yeah, give me some of that. It was so good.
Oh,
it was so good.
Oh, yeah. And he's not just a chef. He just sold he had a few restaurants in San Francisco. So he's a restaurant owner or former owner, and yeah, definitely a chef. But yeah, we should interview him.
Yeah, okay.
Were you going to say something else?
Nope.
Okay. So let's go over that, Rob.
Okay.
So how to get a little bit more vegetables in each day in the winter.
Well, just try something new. I like that idea. Just make it like put mystery vegetable on your grocery list, and just buy something and try it and see how it fits in. And you might be like, ooh, this is awesome. We're going to use this all the time now, and it'll become a staple on your grocery list. So that's our challenge to you. And we'll do the same. And then we'll all compare notes.
Sounds good. Yeah. And eat the rainbow. Try to like get the variety of colors and different, like a diversity of different vegetables. And we didn't mention frozen is fine. So in the winter, of course, that's a way to add vegetables to soups and stews and casseroles. And even you can like roast frozen vegetables. Frozen corn's great to add to your tortilla soup or your lentil soup.
If you haven't been to the frozen food section lately, or not the frozen food, but like frozen vegetables, there's tons of different offerings as far as really good combinations of, obviously cut up vegetables.
Like fajita?
Yeah, there's a fajita mix with onions and peppers. There's like
Oriental.
Yeah, like the Asian with all sorts of different stuff in it. There's like different stir fry mixes. So check it out. And they're really nice size. You just open the pack, throw it in your frying pan, add some sauce, throw it on some rice or however you want to eat it. It couldn't be easier. And that way you're getting all sorts of different stuff that, you don't have to cut it. You don't have to do all that prep work. So it's a good way to try some new stuff. And
get the rainbow.
Exactly. And get the rainbow.
Yeah. And you can definitely include vegetables at more than just dinner.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think that's typically and traditionally, a lot of people just eat their vegetables at dinner. But really, you could have them with a dip with hummus or tzatziki. You could have them in a salad for your lunch. So if you can reach for vegetables more often, and stop and think when you're hungry, like what vegetable can I eat instead of just going for the crackers or going for the standard
chips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because your body will thank you. It really will. You'll get way more nutrition, and people start feeling better after a couple weeks of eating more vegetables. It's amazing how much it works.
Yeah. I like that. I like having leftovers too. Like we mentioned before with the stuffed peppers, like if you make enough for dinner, then your lunch is made for the next day already. You just eat your leftovers and you're getting another serving of whatever veggies you had then. So it's just a little bit of thinking ahead when you're making your food. So are we good? Is that it? Is that all you have for today?
Oh no, I could talk
I
know, a lot longer.
I was going to say, I think that's enough to let that sink in before we hit you with more. So
everything but the kitchen sink.
Exactly. So there you go. Some new ideas, something to go out and explore your produce section and buy some fun veggies and see what you can come up with. If you want more great ideas, you know where to go. mywifethedietitian.com. That's our website. We've got a newsletter you can join. You can email us your questions. There's a blog you can look at with all sorts of great information. If you want to email us, it's mywifetherd@gmail.com. We love hearing your questions. We're happy to answer them in an episode. So yeah, fire away. You can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Feel free to connect with us there. Don't forget to rate and review the show. That's super helpful. Helps other people find the show. Keeps us moving forward here. And we love hearing feedback, positive, negative, whatever. It's all good. It's all good feedback. We love to know how we're doing with you guys and if we're giving you what you want, what you need. So don't be shy. Let us know. And share with your friends. That's always great. So that is it for this week. We will be back next week with a brand new episode. Don't forget to check out the website, join in the newsletter in the meantime, and have a fantastic week. Thanks for joining us today on My Wife the Dietitian. If you like what you heard, don't be shy. Leave us a comment or review, and be sure to share our podcast with your friends. If you'd like to hear more, hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media pages for updates, episode trailers, and other odds and ends. For more info and links on what we discussed on today's episode, check the show notes. We'll be back next week with another informative and fun-filled episode.